Flying Bull Productions presents LaF, Literature and Film.
Welcome to the special edition of LaF. LaF goes to the Oscars. Today's review is about the wilderness survival tale, The Revenant. The film depicts the true story of Hugh Glass's attempt to trek 200 miles alone after being mauled by a bear and left for dead by his hunting party. Filmed using only natural light, every shot is a masterpiece that has rightfully earned the movie nominations for Best Visual Effects, Cinematography, and Director. The film has earned 9 other nominations covering almost every aspect of filmmaking, from Leonardo DiCaprio's and Tom Hardy's Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor nods, to award consideration for production design, sound editing, and costume design. At the end of the night, there's a good chance this film walks away with more Oscars than any other 2015 film. Bundle up and join LaF's attempt to retrace the footsteps of one man's incredible journey as they review The Revenant.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Over there is Mr. Ryan Bull.
Howdy.
I'm Richard Lusk. We're talking about The Revenant.
Yeah. Episode 129. The numbers keep going up. Yep.
It's nominated for Best Picture, Director, Actor, Supporting Actor, Cinematography, editing, all the technical stuff. I made a prediction in episode 127 that Mad Max Fury Road was going to win the Oscars in terms of winning the most number of Oscars. But I'm going to predict now that The Revenant wins Best Picture.
Okay.
I'm not going to make the prediction that it wins the Oscars, even though it's up for the most Oscars. I'm going to say it wins 5.
So Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu has the best film of the year 2 years in a row.
But I don't think he wins director.
He doesn't win director. Does the cinematographer win again?
I don't know.
Because that guy's won a ridiculous amount of times, and he's been nominated something like 12 times.
Yeah.
So
I think he deserves it, but I also think that there are some others that are deserving. Like, I think that whoever wins it will be deserving of it. It'd be hard not to give it to him for this movie. The visuals in this movie are better, they were more intense to me than any other movie I saw on the screen this year.
wow.
Including Sicario. Like, Sicario sticks with me more because of its themes and characters.
Now, I hope Sicario wins for best cinematography because Deakins is up for that, and he's been nominated like 12 times
but if I
never won.
If I think about visual, like just visually, like what I can picture, this movie has it in spades. More than Mad Max, more than Sicario, more than Room, a lot more than Room. Although I understand why Room is nominated for cinematography.
Oh, completely different film.
Yeah.
Completely different aesthetic. Yeah, I mean, this just going out and saying, we're going to film in all natural light. Originally, they were going to use actual film, but then they found that they would have longer exposure or longer shooting times if they use digital, the so-called magic hour, as the sun is setting or sun is even rising. I guess you get magic hour in the morning, is longer if you use a digital camera. You can change the f-stops or whatever to get it to work. All that technical stuff. Ton of one-shot takes in this film.
Or what look like one-shots. When like, I thought that the opening fight scene was a one-shot all the way. And it felt like that. It was edited together so well. But then looking at it again, it's maybe 3 or 4 one-shots with some intercuts. That makes sense for the movie and for what the story they're trying to tell, but they feel like one shot.
Did they cut it? Because I know True Detective season 1 has a very famous one shot, and they purposely storyboarded and choreographed it so that if they couldn't get the whole take in one shot, they had spaces to cut in, but apparently they didn't need to.
Well, you're talking about in True Detective.
In True Detective. In this film, I felt like a lot of that same stuff was going on. It's very hard to get anyone to say definitively, here's how we did the shot.
I'm not sure exactly how it works in terms of like the psychology of seeing the shot I mean, this movie is also nominated for sound editing and sound mixing. I think it won an award for sound mixing recently at some of the technical awards that went out at one of the awards ceremonies. And the Arakira Indian tribe attack that happens in the midway point of the film has a lot of intense sound, so it'll come through pretty well. Now, this scene actually has cuts within it that make it feel like it's a one take, but it doesn't. It obviously it can't work as a one take because you got the whole horse falling over the cliff there. I really don't think that Leonardo DiCaprio, as much as he went through to make this movie, decided that he was also going to jump over a cliff with the horse and go fall 500 feet into a pine tree, but.
Yeah, one of the few times in the film they clearly are using some CGI.
So I think that they probably are storyboarded out so that they can fit in the cuts. But I also think that there's a psychological element at work where they they move the camera around behind the character's head so that you see what he sees and it becomes a subjective viewpoint. Mm-hmm. When it still just looks like it's still one camera moving around, then it swings back around and different things happen.
Now then, you said storyboard, and apparently there are a lot of stories, including from our infamous Tom Hardy, who also was on Mad Max and got upset that he didn't feel like the director knew what he was doing. A lot of people walked off the set on this film. They were upset.
Right.
And in Inarritu, that they would spend hours choreographing a scene, and then right before it was shooting time, when they were in that so-called magic hour, he would change his mind go in some different direction. They're like, this is ridiculous.
Then I have completely no idea what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about.
The budget just, skyrocketed. This was supposed to be like $30 million, went up to $100 million.
Well,
because of overruns and how long it took to shoot.
Think about the bear attack.
Yeah.
That comes off as a one take. But there's no way it's a one take.
Well, they had a big guy in a green suit moving around.
Yeah, but I think that they had to shoot that multiple times.
Oh, yeah, they probably did.
And then cut it all together.
Possibly, and then, at times it's going to be Leo. At times you're going to have a digital double just because, you're not getting the arm flapping around the way you want to, or, the bear's head is in a spot, and the bear's head is bigger than the actor was, who was grabbing on Leo, so... he's moving in a way that he wouldn't actually have the room to do that. So you have to use a digital double. I mean, that stuff's kind of accepted.
The movie itself is brutal. Like, not that bear attack notwithstanding. There's other elements to decapitations and gunshots to the head. This guy gets shot in the groin. Arrows everywhere. It's very masculine, kind of gritty, intensely violent. Can you recommend it to everybody?
No. People who like the level of violence in this film would kind of excite me because then I could go and tell them to also watch Bone Tomahawk.
Right, if you're not put off by the violence. But see, Bone Tomahawk, the violence seems a little bit more gratuitous. A lot more gratuitous.
But it's along the same lines.
See, I don't think I could recommend Bone Tomahawk to my dad.
But you could recommend
I did, yeah. And he loved it.
All right.
He was a little taken out by the violence in it.
Well, I'm telling Mr. Lust to go watch Bone Tomahawk.
All right.
He can thank me later.
No, he already saw it. He loved it.
It was a great recommendation on my part, then.
Yeah, way to go. I can't see very many people not having a strong reaction to it one way or the other.
To this film?
Yeah, I can see you walking into a movie like The Big Short or Spotlight or Room or Brooklyn, any of these other ones, just sitting there and going, eh. But if you watch this movie, if you stick with it till the very end, you're going to be like, holy crap, that's the best thing I ever saw, or holy crap, that's the crappiest thing I ever saw.
Maybe this is a long movie. There are some ponderous sequences. They keep going back to Leo's dreams time and time again.
Yeah.
I think for some of our younger listeners, maybe our high school students, if they made a 20-minute supercut of this film, it would be the greatest film ever.
Oh, it's got the best action scene of the year, though. That opening sequence.
Well, pretty much. You just do some action. You have Leo getting beat up by a bear. I mean, just 20, maybe 25 minutes. You could do a supercut. People would be like, this thing's awesome. And then when you tell them, yeah, it's actually 6 times longer than that.
Could you say the same thing about Wolf of Wall Street for our kids? But then the scene that everyone likes in Wolf of Wall Street, the Quaalude scene, where he goes and whatever happened. I'm not going to try to ruin that movie. Yeah. We'll just leave it at that. But that movie wouldn't, that scene or that sequence wouldn't have been as effective if it came in the middle of a 20-minute supercut. The fact that it comes after 2 hours and you see this guy's
maybe
debauchery.
Not as effective, but you could cut that down. You could cut this film down to 25 minutes. I don't feel like you could cut down Mad Max to 25 minutes or The Martian.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, granted, there's not a whole lot of plot in this film.
No, but you have to be on this journey with Hugh Glass in order to have that same emotional experience. Like, visually, you're right. In terms of the impact that the movie had emotionally, obviously it's going to have to be the 2.5 hours that it is. For me, I was surprised that I cared as much as I did, because normally I don't really care about people in movies. And I did. I cared about the bear in this one, and the baby bear. The baby bears, the cubs. Whatever happened to those cubs? Did they get away? Oh, now I'm having a crisis about that. Yeah, because they didn't have their mama there.
Nope, no mama bear.
Yeah, way to go, Hugh Glass. You destroyed another bear family.
Another bear family. Yeah. So you want to see the sequel. You want to find out what happens to those baby bears.
No, you just told me they died.
Well, maybe they don't.
Baby bears.
Maybe I lied to you.
Favorite? I've said all along, DiCaprio wins the Academy Award for Best Actor.
Yeah, I'm afraid he's going to. I don't think he should. I want Bryan Cranston for Trumbo to win, but I don't think he's going to.
I saw an article that said it is possible.
I think Bryan Cranston has the next best chance, but I think this is going to be the year of Leo.
Leo's got a 97% chance.
Yeah,
I mean math.
I'm pretty sure Leo wins. If he doesn't, it's going to be one of the great upsets. I mean, as long as he manages to not get arrested in the next 5 days. Voting might even be over.
I think voting might even be over with.
All right, he's got it then.
Why are you so bitter? You don't think he deserves it?
No.
Why?
I think there are a lot of actors I would put ahead of him who should have an Oscar before he should.
I'm talking about for this role, for this movie.
For this yeah. No, he doesn't act.
Wow,
he says maybe 12 words. He says maybe 12 words.
His body.
Do we need another film where the lead actor gets horribly injured and loses the ability to talk as a result? Yes. After last year, Eddie Redmayne won for playing Stephen Hawking.
Yes. The answer is yes.
This is Stephen Hawking on a snow trip.
So you say in order to act, it has to be all dialogue?
It doesn't have to all be dialogue. There needs to be some.
All right.
He's just sitting there, and I feel like you can...
No, he's not just sitting there. You have to go back and watch. There's a lot of acting that goes into his acting.
A lot of method. You can really feel like he's cold and suffering. Oh, that's because he was in the middle of nowhere, and he was cold and suffering. He was on the verge of hypothermia the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not really... You don't have to act like you feel cold when you're actually out in native 20-degree weather.
So he doesn't get any credit for
sacrifices?
Yeah, for sacrificing himself in that. Because everyone else was in that were in those conditions too.
He gets some credit for that, but I don't think that should be enough to win you Best Actor.
What if he's able to make Lusk feel?
You're all right. You're a big Leo apologist.
I'm not an apologist. Like, he needs someone
A
supporting
lot
him.
of people that we work with don't like Leo, and I feel like you spend a lot of time defending him when those attacks come. You are a big fan of Leo.
Yeah, I think he's a good actor. I like him in most roles. I just think this year, what he did in The Revenant is better than what Bryan Cranston did. And I don't know who else is up for Best Actor, to be honest with you. I know Hanks isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sort of surprising. Who's that? The Big Short? Christian Bale?
Christian Bale's up for Best Supporting Actor.
Eddie Redmayne? Is he in for The Danish Girl?
I think he did.
I don't know either. I know we're not doing an Oscar show this year, sadly, but I guess the only two people that they're really talking about is DiCaprio and Cranston. Yeah. So anyway, it's a done deal for the DiCaprio. What about supporting actor? I thought that Tom Hardy was pretty good.
Yeah, I like Tom Hardy in this. This might have been my favorite role of his that he played all year. He had a lot more to do, and it's a showy role. This is a fun role for an actor to play where you get to be evil and try and convince people that you're not evil. I mean, that's fun to play, and apparently he's always pissing off people, so maybe he didn't have to do that much acting on this film. But I've been a big Tom Hardy fan since I saw him in Bronson.
Tom Hardy apologist. I've just been called.
Yeah, as you called last summer, the summer of Tom.
We'll see who wins the Oscar this time. So my guess is DiCaprio. I'm putting the over-under at The Revenant for winning the number of Oscars at 5. And I'm saying it wins the best Oscar. What's so funny?
I'm pretty sure if we went through all these films and you keep doing this over-under number, the number of Oscars you have being awarded is way above the total number.
Oscars,
yeah.
No, I'm saying it wins Best Picture, and it wins for DiCaprio. I'm guessing it wins 3 of these other ones. Maybe sound mixing.
Right. Mad Max you had winning 7s. There's 12.
Right.
That's a large chunk already gone.
That's what I think will happen. Mad Max will win 7. Revenant will win 5. I'm covering my bets here.
5.
So what are you going? You're going to go
I'm
over?
going to go under.
All right.
I believe on Mad Max I said that I'm taking the under with it winning like 4.
Good luck.
In that it wins the most. Again, I think a lot of stuff gets spread out.
So you don't think this wins Best Picture?
No. I don't think they give it to Inarritu twice in a row.
All right. So.
I think a film we haven't talked about yet.
Oh, wow. I'm intrigued. Maybe that'll be coming up on the next show, or it at least will be coming up in the next 3 shows. So for Mr. Two Frames over there,
pleasure.
On the L Trade Box of
There be dragons.
What do you think of this year's Academy Awards? Let LaF know your opinion. Email the show at thelafpodcast@gmail.com, tweet at thelafpodcast, or send a message on facebook.com/thelafpodcast. We will read the best comments on a future show.